and probably there will be possibilities that it can be published. So it is very important to know, because otherwise sometimes you may lose some of the important sources of literature. So during this review process, normally the reviewers, editors, if they are expert, they can identify that some of the important literatures are missed. It will not be rejected because of this paper, but since you are writing a review paper, so all the sources, all the relevant papers must be cited, must be critically analyzed, must be included in your review paper. So that's why the sources of literature is very, very important. So as you know, the Science Direct and Elsevier is one of the best source, one of the potential source. Almost 80% of literatures can be obtained there. Of course, there are, because it depends on the discipline. For example, the IEEE Explore, they also have specific publication platform. So if paper is relevant in that area, so you need to explore. So this is the reason I highlighted all the necessary databases here. These are some of the databases. There might be other databases also. So when you are writing a review paper, so I would strongly suggest that you explore all the relevant databases, platform, even Yahoo, Google's conference paper, original paper, review paper, as much as possible, so that reviewer cannot make comments that there is no, some of the papers are missed out. So now I'll be talking about the main body. So in this section, sometimes I hear the question that how much would be the, how many references should be there, how many pages should be there, and so on. So I have seen sometimes paper also very short, 5 to 10 references with few references and with few pages. I have seen 4 to 6 pages. That is one of the journal I published a number of good quality papers in renewable and sustainable energy reviews. In earlier times, I have seen some papers with only 4 or 6 pages with 5 to 10 references. That was quite long time ago, but that practice may not be hold at this recent time. So it can be up to 100 pages with 300 to 500 references. So these are again, in which journal you are going to publish. You see the author's guideline, some other guidelines there. You download some of the relevant papers. So at least a few papers you download and a few review papers you download, and you see how many references are provided, how many pages are there, what's the content. So if you download few model papers, I think that will give you the appropriate answer in which journals you are targeting. So there is no specific rules and regulations guidelines here, but that's why in my case, I restrict for my students not more than 50 double pages at the initial stage, and with 5 to 10 figures and tables. Because if I have seen some of my students write a paper 80 pages and 100 pages, and sometimes they don't want to, they argue with me that, okay, let's try. So sometimes I also allow them, but at the end, when it goes to the review process, particularly the editor and reviewer specifically mentioned, this is a too long paper. So definitely they have to concise, they have to reduce the paper. So again, it depends if you can write a good quality paper with within 20 pages, within 30 pages, it should be all right. So as long as it goes through review process, editor is convinced, reviewers are convinced with this short, precise paper, I don't see anything problem with that. So it is quite easy to publish in some journals. This is again my experience. As you know, we as a human being, some people are tough, some people are moderate, some people are very soft. Similarly, in publication platform also, some journals, some editors are very harsh, very strict, stringent, whereas some journals are, the moderate, quite lenient, convenient. So this is again the publication experience. So that's why I think the role of supervisors, collaborators sometimes can help you to publish when you face difficulties. So that's what I mean. In some journals it is quite easy, and in some journals it is quite difficult. So that's why the experience is needed, important, particularly not to demotivate the students, those who are new. So if it is submitted at very difficult journals, maybe after rejection of few times, students or the team might be demotivated. So this is again based on the experience, what I suggested here. However, it is really very difficult in some journals. I think I discussed to prepare a table of content first, and that table of content, once it is drafted, then let's discuss with the whole team and collaborators, and if any experts need to be identified from other parts of the world, engage them and make it a stronger table of content, and then the task can be distributed among all the team members. So that's why, in my view, in my case, in most cases, we give some special emphasis on developing a table of content. So this is basically the key things in writing a review paper. So it's just not simply a summary. Most critical elements is the critical review, key features of a review paper. So I will present some of the slides here, particularly to address what is meant by critical review, synthesis, critical evaluation. So try to pay some attention here. But again, I would like to also highlight that this may not be what I'm going to share here. This may not be perfect, and it is not each and everything. This is just my experience I'm going to share. So this is an example of a critical review in the form of a figure. As you can see, there are critical review is basically critically evaluating a number of references available in the literatures. So it can be in the form of a table, it can be in the form of a figure. As you can see, there are a number of references. So their data has been extracted. So there are software that can be used to extract data called the get data software. Some of my students mentioned they get in this way data. Some of the data you can pick from the graphs, tables, and figures. And this is how they came out with this critical hit flags with another x-axis. So this is what we call one examples in the form of a figure, critical analysis of others' results in the form of a figure. Definitely you need to discuss, you need to put the reasoning phenomena why these things happening here. So that's important. That's what we call also the critical evaluation, strength and weaknesses of the others' findings. This is another way of presenting critical evaluation of others' results in the form of a figure. This is in the form of a table. So as you can see, there are a number of references with some specific parameters. So different fields, these parameters can be different. But to me, the most important thing is this observation, findings, and limitations. So here basically also will help to identify what are the limitations there. This limitation basically will help other researchers to identify the novelties, what can be done in future. So this is another tables in the form of a critical analysis of others' results. So finally, I'm close to at the end of my presentation. So there should be conclusion. Again, the conclusion, you have some objectives. So based on your objectives, so some findings, the review findings should be highlighted here based on your stated objectives. So this is basically your concrete achievement findings of your work. It should be based on your objectives. So what are the literature findings? And along with that, I think that some future recommendations of future directions, future perspectives also should be highlighted. And those are the very useful things for new researcher and also those who are trying to write a new proposal, grant proposal, because some of the limitations, drawbacks are highlighted there. So this will be useful for new researcher to write a new proposal. Sometimes those are the very useful things. So that's basically also one of the purpose of writing a review paper. So the future perspective, after reading, after synthesizing, critically analyzing 300, 400, 500 papers. So definitely some of the research gaps, future perspectives can be clearly identified in specific paragraphs and sections. So again, I don't have enough time to address all those things. And as I mentioned, I have presented all those in 11th June in UPM presentation slide. So that was 2.5 hour presentation, how to write original papers, how to address the ethics, the impact assessment, scholarly impact assessment, pros and cons, each and every details are there. You can download, you can go through YouTube, so you can see each and every details with my personal experience is provided there. But this